of VCMs that we use as at the opening of the polls at 6 o'clock in the morning a while ago. So I think that is the report when it comes to our VCMs, our SD cards, the securities, and the issues in Tondo, as well as the peace and order situation of the National Capital Region. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lambino, sir. For the entire country, Director Rex Laudianco, sir.
Thank you, Sir Erwin. May I just add po, no, dun sa na-explain ni Director Lambino. Sir, napag-usapan po namin kanina yung rationale why we could not move further the voters from Rosario, Almario to another place to decongest. Yun lang po kasing distance from Rosario, Almario to Perfecto, Gregorio Perfecto High School ay 1 kilometer na po. We could not move to another polling place yung voters po natin na mas malayo kasi mas malaki po yung tsansa na hindi sila bumoto at ultimately ma-disenfranchise po sila. Dapat po kasi yung polling place na binibigay natin sa mga as close as possible sa mga barangay. That's the first consideration. Kaya po napilitan ang COMELEC na pahintulutan ng paglipat ng mga botante from Rosario, Almario sa pinakamalapit na paaralan pa yung Perfecto High School. Okay po, I hope that clears up kasama po ng explanation. And right now po, Director Lambino had explained the full force of COMELEC Manila are there together with the Philippine National Police and the DepEd to manage the queue. Moving naman po sila lahat. Okay. Now for the other parts, for the OFOV, we already have received 33.55%. A significant number compared to the other elections. Isa pa pong sigurong maituturing ko na good news sa mga nag-aabang po dun sa deliverables, those who are waiting for COMELEC deliverables. The election website results is now up and running. It's 2022 election, one word, 2022 election results.comelec.gov.ph, and that website is open to the public. And as of 7:49 p.m., out of the 106,174 election returns expected to be transmitted, received are already 32,068 election returns. Dahil 7:49 p.m. pa to at 8:30 na po ngayon, I expect a significant increase in the number of election returns that we have received. For the overseas election returns, we are expecting to receive 1,406 overseas election returns. We now have received 5 of these. Of course, we don't expect to receive yet national COCs dahil magkakanvas pa lang po ang National Board of Canvassers. We don't expect yet at this time to receive, of course, yung provincial COCs. Dahil po nga po, as I've explained before, ladderized canvassing is required under law. Those that will be canvassed by the provincial boards of canvassers are the certificates of canvass of municipal boards of canvassers and those component cities constituting city boards of canvassers in that province. So wala pa rin po talagang ina-expect na ma-receive. Insofar as the city COCs are concerned, certificates of canvass, we're expecting 1,633, and as of 7:49, wala pa rin po tayong natatanggap. So what's good about this is that the transparency commitment of the COMELEC insofar as the results are concerned is already up and running. It's the COMELEC election website, for results website. Now for the, just a quick update for the VCMs that malfunctioned, as we have explained before, all the 106,174 clustered precincts equivalent to the VCMs had completed their FTS, 100% had functioned. What about those who were which were subjected to repair? a total of 0.502%, all of which were repaired and then delivered back to serve as contingency machines. Insofar as the SD cards are concerned, that amounts to a percentage of 0.203%. And dun po sa SD cards that I have mentioned, 99.54% of that were reconfigured and then sent back to the electoral boards to make the VCMs function. Insofar as the other reports are concerned, perhaps we give them time for these results to come in. We will have our regular briefing tomorrow at 12 noon, midday. So before the resumption of the proceedings of the National Board of Canvassers, we will have our midday briefing here po. Okay.
Thank you, sir. For Q&A, the first to ask question is Ms. Mela Lesmoras, PTV4. At the back po, sa likod po yung microphone, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, sirs. I'm Mela from PTV4. For Sir Attorney Laujanco, sir, supposed to be hanggang 7 p.m. po kasi yung botohan natin. As of now, ano po yung report sa inyo on ground sa buong Pilipinas? Kasi may mga nagre-report na hanggang ngayon nakapila pa rin sila. Ito po ba ay ongoing? Ano po yung hanggang anong oras po yung nakikita ng COMELEC na botohan sa bansa?
Most of the precincts that I have mentioned po have already closed their votings. Karamihan po yan na ina-expect namin yung nagkaroon ng konting delay or those which are highly populated cities and municipalities. Nonetheless, ang ini-stress, what we emphasize here is that no matter how long it takes, for as long as those voters came into the queue before 7 p.m. until 7 p.m., we will ensure that they will be able to cast their votes. Commitment po ng COMELEC yan. It's our commitment to the people that we will ensure that they will not be disenfranchised. Kahit anong oras po abutin, papabotohin po namin sila.
Opo. And a follow-up lang, sir, kasi isa sa mga nakikitang dahilan kaya nagtagal din sa pila yung iba nating mga kababayan ay dahil nga po dun sa nagkaproblemang mga VCMs para lang din ma-assure yung public na hindi po ito makakaapekto sa resulta ng halalan. Ano po yung mga assurance nyo sa ating mga kababayan?
The VCMs that malfunction po, as you could see, and we have been stressing it for the whole day, was that it was immediate. The first mode po kasi is to repair it on site. We escalated to the next level wherein supervisors from the National Tech Support Center are guiding the technician. At the last resort, if the VCM could not be repaired, that is only the time we pull it out and immediately replace it with a contingent VCM. So that is to ensure, at nakita naman po natin 100% turnout. In fact nga po, yung na-delay ng konti kanina sa Davao Occidental dahil tumaas po yung ilog, binaha po sila. They were able to proceed with the voting at 8:30 a.m. Yun po yung kaisa-isa kaninang nakapag-FTS but na-delay sa opening because ang taas po ng ilog, hindi sila makatawid. But still, they were able to forge on, nag-start po lahat. Isa pa pong nakita namin ng konting reason kung bakit marami pa pong tao sa mga polling centers ngayon, ito po yung, tama kayo, nagkaroon ng konting problema sa VCM at gusto po nilang ma-experience na i-feed yung ballots by themselves. Iginagalang po namin ito. Okay? Ang nangyari po kasi, they stayed at their polling places. They are waiting for the machines to come back. At alam ko naman po, nagsimula na rin ito. Most of them po, pumayag naman pong ilagay doon sa receptacle provided for the ballots na iba-batch feeding. But for those who opted to hold on to their ballots, because we will not allow them to take this out, they will remain inside the polling place. For those who opted to hold on, they are now being queued doon po sa VCMs that are already functioning.
Opo. And panghuli na lamang po, Attorney Laujanco, kasi tapos na yung halalan phase. Can you just give us a walkthrough? Ano pong mangyayari? What's next? Mula sa, yun nga, sa canvassing and sa proclamation, pwede po ba nating ibahagi lang sa ating mga kababayan kung ano yung dapat nilang abangan after ng botohan?
Una po sa lahat, allow me to highlight the capabilities of the automated election system. We have explained that the city boards of canvassers, the municipal boards of canvassers will be the one to canvass the results of the elections in each precinct. Ang ika-canvass po nila ay election returns produced and printed by the VCMs. Okay. Ladderized, coming up po yung results, but one of the highlights of the election system po that we required in the terms of reference is that kahit po si that VCM will be able to transmit to the transparency servers even those election returns. So everybody could monitor not just the certificates of canvass, but also the election returns. As we could see in the election results website, pumapasok po yung mga election returns and you could view the results. In fact, we challenge everyone dun sa mga matatapos na po sa counting sa precincts, the dominant majority party, the dominant minority political parties, and all the other parties will be given their election returns, the ERs. They will be given their printed ERs. They are now free to go to that website and compare the ER that they have. Ganyan din po yung naging challenge namin sa mga nakaraang eleksyon. Compare the printed ER that you have with the results posted at the website. We even escalated further the challenge. Our partners and friends in the media, you are hooked up at our transparency server at UST. And these results coming from the VCMs, you are also receiving it real time. Real time po. You could also go to I know most of you have websites up and running presenting these results. The public could go to your websites and view the same election returns so that we could all compare. Okay, so you have multiple sources, not just the COMELEC election website results. We have the websites of our friends from the media. That's one of the highlights. Okay, going up po dito because there are proceedings. Ayon po kasi sa batas, ang kinakanvas po talaga paakyat yan ladderized. Kasi ang proclamation paakyat din, ano? Yung mga ERs, itatransmit po yan, sabay-sabay, transparency servers. Pero ang focus po niyan, ang pinaka-official transmission, kasi for canvas, is the municipal boards of canvassers. Doon po bibilangin yung pinagsama-samang election returns ng munisipyo na yon. The same with the city boards of canvassers. And the outcome of this canvas is the certificates of canvas. Doon sa munisipyo at city po na yan, if the canvas had already been terminated, everything had been accomplished, they will likewise be able to produce the certificate of canvas and proclamation, giving them now the authority under law to proclaim the winning candidates. Yan po yung second step sa ladder, because the first step is the VCMs. Okay. Now, if this, hatiin po natin may dalawang klase po kasing city sa atin. Merong highly urbanized chartered cities, merong mga component cities. Yung component cities, these are cities which form part of the provinces. Merong mga highly urbanized cities na independent po. For example, Puerto Princesa City. Puerto Princesa City is a highly urbanized city. They do not vote for the province. So doon na po magtatapos yung kanilang canvassing, independent of the province. At yung certificate of canvass of Puerto Princesa City will be canvassed by the National Board of Canvassers. Okay, going into the component cities, pag natapos na po sila dun sa kanilang canvassing, those certificates of canvass coming from yung mga munisipyo, yung mga cities forming that province, aakyat po at itatransmit sa provincial boards of canvassers. This time, they will be canvassing the votes garnered for the provincial elective post, governor, vice governor, members of Sangguniang Panlalawigan. At pag natapos po sila, they will be able to transmit the certificate of canvass to the national board. And the second document that I am referring to, the certificate of canvass and proclamation, they will now be able to proclaim the winning provincial candidates. That's the third step in the ladder. The fourth one, natapos na po tayo sa cities and provinces. Ito naman po yung aakyat dun sa dalawang national boards of canvassers. Why two? As I've explained before, the first national board of canvassers is the Commission on Elections. What we will canvass are the certificates of canvass for senators and party list. Pag natapos po tayo dito, ang ipoproclaim po natin dito sa PICC ay winning senators at winning party list. The other National Board of Canvassers is the joint houses of Congress. They will be the one to canvass the certificates of canvass. Pareho po nung kinakanvass natin. Wala pong pinagkaiba. But they will be the one to canvass the votes specifically for the President and the Vice President. At pag natapos po nila yung canvass nila, that National Board of Canvassers will likewise be the one to proclaim the winning President and Vice President. These are the rungs po, no, sa ladder natin as provided under law. Kaya po, nga po ngayon, in-explain po namin, we were explaining why, the reason why we had to suspend the proceedings, why we have to declare a recess. Because there are steps to be made and we don't expect to receive, as of now, any provincial, district, or in highly urbanized city certificates of canvass. Hopefully by 1 p.m. tomorrow when we resume our session again, may I just emphasize, we did not postpone. We did not adjourn. There is a continuing session. We just declared a recess for us to resume at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and by then, we will be able to see and canvass those transmitted city, district, and provincial certificates of canvass. Sana po medyo malinaw. Okay lang po, hindi po ako masasawang ipaliwanag yan kahit bukas. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mela.
Thank you very much po.
The next will be Nika Hanopol. Miss Nika Hanopol, Bearer Files.
Hi sir, good evening po. Thanks for answering yung questions regarding the VCM. We just want to know po how do the figures compare with the issues you tracked in 2019 when it comes to the VCMs po?
Okay. Just to compare po, VCMs, not too much of a problem in 2019. Why? The VCMs are still relatively new. Nagamit lang po sila noong 2016. Pangalawang gamit pa lang po noong 2019. So parang 7 years lang po because these were manufactured around 2015. So by 2019, around 7 years pa lang po sila. Ngayon po, nasa 9 years na ang mga VCMs. And we really expect issues.
Great.
And the proof of that preparation and expectations is that our GI, which incorporate contingency measures, and the separate contingency resolution were promulgated months before. We had anticipated problems. We had anticipated the issues concerned. And that is why we were able to turn around the repair of the VCMs. And that is also the reason why we brought closer to the regions that repair hubs. Dati po kasi nag-iisa lang po ito nandun sa warehouse namin sa Laguna. But right now, we had instituted at least 8 regional hubs. In so far, and anticipating any issues with the SD cards, we had brought down the SD technical repair hubs to the provinces. We have 82 provincial technical hubs which will deal with the SD cards. So mas malapit po at mas mabilis. Based on my experience in 2010, I was in Agusan del Sur. I was the chairman of the provincial boards of canvassers. It took me 2 weeks before I received the SD card dahil lahat po kinukuha pa at ini-airlift from Laguna at nagkasabay-sabay po kami noon. But now, napakabilis po ng turnaround time natin. Napakaganda po at best practice yung ginawa. And in the future, we hope madagdagan pa namin yung mga repair hubs ito. But the best expectation po in the future, nabanggit nga po ni Commissioner Casqueo sana, hopefully, there would be enough funds for the next elections na makabili na kami ng bago-bago and much improved machines. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just one last question po, no. In relation to the turnaround po ng results, when is the earliest time that the COMELEC can proclaim winners for local positions, and what about for national positions po?
Of course, COMELEC does not want to speculate naman po, Okay. But the reasonable expectation is that perhaps in 4, 5, or in a week's time, there will be a very clear picture of the results of the election. That's the most ideal, and that's our best expectation. That in a week's time, the results of the election will be clear enough for all of us to know who the real winners are.
Right. Thank you very much po, Attorney.
Thank you, Ms. Nika. Ms. Mab Gonzalez, GMA7. Be followed by Mr. Johnson Manabat, ABS-CBN. Ma'am?
Hi, sir. Sir, good evening po. Yung pong 4 to 5 days, that's for the national. But how about for the local positions? Yung, how soon can we expect yung mga proclamations for
Come
the...
again, ma'am, please.
How soon, sir, can we expect proclamations for the local positions? Like mga mayor, ganyan po.
For the local positions, best case scenario, tomorrow. For the ones who were able to finish counting and canvassing their ERs. That's the best case scenario. Second best case scenario would be Wednesday. Further than that po, hindi na po siguro. Siguro yung talagang magkakaroon ng problem. But given that there are no untoward reports now, best case scenario is tomorrow. Next best case, hindi worst case, next best case scenario is on Wednesday.
Sir, yung pong election results website natin and the transparency server na ginagamit ng mga media outfits, sir, how accurate are those dun sa talagang ina-expect natin magiging resulta? Because people are going to rely on what they see on the website na parang, okay, dito leading si ganitong kandidato. Is that a faithful representation of what the results would actually be?
That is the reason why we put up the website in the first place, because we are telling the people that the results posted in the website is accurate. That's the real result. And the first thing that I did here was to ask all of you who are in possession of the ER, check it with the results posted there. Not just there. Go to our friends from the media, their websites. Please go there and check the printed ERs. But of course, then again, please make sure that the ER you're holding really came from the VCMs, because there are a lot of spurious and fake ERs going around. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Mab. Mr. Johnson Manabat, ABS-CBN, to be followed by Mr. Andrew Calonzo of Bloomberg News.
Sir, kay Attorney Laudianco lang po. Sir, for the record lang, wala na po tayong ini-expect ngayon na announcement or resolution from COMELEC extending the voting hours ng 7 o'clock.
The chairman had made it clear a while ago that we do not expect any extension. But then again, you know, COMELEC, we always plan for Plan B and Plan C. If ever there is a justifiable ground to extend, you can be assured that the COMELEC will be declaring an extension. But for now, what we are categorically stating is that for now, there are no grounds to call and move or authorize the extension of voting hours.
And lastly, sir, yun hong declaration for a possible failure of election, kailangan may mag-file ng petition. Meron ho bang possible declaration of failure of election like in Buluan, Maguindanao?
Based on the law, sir, there are two modes to declare a failure of election. One is a direct petition lodged with the Commission on Elections. The other one is motu proprio. Of course, if the COMELEC could readily see the justification that there really is a failure of elections, we will not hesitate to declare one, because our goal is to ensure that those voters there will not be disenfranchised and that they will be able to vote, have their votes counted in furtherance of the proclamation of the local and national candidates po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson Manabat. Mr. Andrew Calonzo from Bloomberg News.
Hi, magandang gabi po, sirs. Sir, as I can remember, noong 2016, we immediately had partial results. Nakita natin siya agad within minutes after the polls closed. Bakit po this time it took a while for us to get? Parang kakapasok pa lang nung results.
Sir, the close of voting then was 5 o'clock.
Yes, sir. But
We closed voting at 7 o'clock. It's just an hour and a few minutes. But then again, in an hour and a few minutes at 7:49, we already have, I forgot the figure, we already have we already have 32,068. So nandun na po yung resulta. Pumapasok na po sila isa-isa. And you could consider that as partial. But then again, partial and unofficial, why we have yet to canvass the certificates of canvass. ERs pa lang po ito.
Okay, sir. Sir, pero yung we saw already immediately after the votes closed na may transmissions na, 'di ba? Pero yung results hindi pa nare-reflect even dun sa media unofficial results. So ano po yung reason for that?
The reports are there, sir. Siguro,
Okay.
have you
Yes,
gone
yes.
through the website, sir?
Yes.
Have you also checked with the transparency servers? Because
Yes.
I believe those ERs that came in the websites, those are the same ERs that I already received.
Yes, sir. Pero after the voting precincts closed, meron ng transmissions, di ba? Pero kakarating pa lang nung results. I mean, nung vote count. So, ano po yung...
Then again, sir, ulitin ko nga po. Dati kasi noon, sir, siguro, ang difference po ba, 5 p.m., what time did you expect na nagkaroon po ng transmission?
Sir,
Around
that-
6 p.m.? Right, sir? Nag-close po tayo ng 7, before 8, meron na rin naman po tayo, sir.
Okay,
So
sir.
hopefully, we're going at par with previous
par.
elections.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank you, Andrew, Mr. Andrew. Sheila Francisco from OpTV5. Sheila?
Attorney Rex, mangangamusta lang po ako sa rate of transmission kasi after nung nangyayaring before you assured na may mga contingency sa VCM pero nagka-problem ngayon, baka ang nag-worry po yung mga tao na baka magkaroon ulit nung sinasabi na glitch like what happened in the past election. So how can you assure us na wala po mangyayaring glitch dun sa mga transmission po?
Going into the glitch which had been explained by Director Jimenez po for so many times, the insurance, if we could say so, that the COMELEC had instituted to avoid that glitch is that there is an additional server to handle the volume doon po sa transparency server. Dati po kasi, for lack of a better term, the word that they're using was nabulunan. Dahil po sa dami ng sabay-sabay pumasok, nawala yung feed palabas po sa inyo. Pero hindi nawala yung feed doon sa server at doon sa main monitor. Ang nawala lang po yung sa connection sa inyo. That's why in-improve po at in-strengthen, ang tawag po yata ng IT dito ay nag-harden sila nung servers at nagdagdag to ensure na hindi na po mauulit yung glitches na ganyan.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, Acting Spokesperson, Director Rex Lojanco, and National Capital Region Regional Election Director, Attorney Temi Lambino, sir. That concludes our press briefing for today. See you all again tomorrow at 12 noon. Thank you po. Magandang gabi.
Thank you po. Magandang gabi sa lahat.